Congresswoman from California, Barbara Lee. Representative, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
I was just getting a report from Katie Beck, our correspondent out of Los Angeles, and she had the opportunity to speak with a pro-Trump rallier at Los Angeles airport. And his statement was this. He told Katie, he said, you know, I went through a process of becoming a U.S. citizen, and I would hope that everybody else has to go through that same process. And I'm also concerned about safety in America. That's what that one pro-Trump marcher said to her. What would you say to that Californian?
First, I would say we all are concerned about safety in America, but this is a ban against Muslims entering our country. It provides for a religious test, and in fact, that's un-American. And I really applaud the judge's decision because it is unconstitutional. And this was a judge appointed by George Bush, and I think people need to really continue the protests and continue to speak out because this ban is wrong, and it's morally wrong, and it's unconstitutional.
You've seen the historic marches across the country, and Beth Fooey and I were talking about how it's been 3 weekends in a row, 3 weekends where we have a new president at the same time. Are Democrats ready to take advantage of this energy? And if they are, how are they doing it?
We're here in Baltimore now, progressives, talking about our strategy for fighting. And I think already you have seen Democrats within the House of Representatives and the Senate provide that wall of resistance. But it's important to recognize that Democrats are marching with the public in protest. Many of us were with the Women's March. Many of us have been protesting the ban, the wall, the threat to cut off federal funding for sanctuary cities. Some of us protested the certification of the Electoral College. Some of us did not attend the inauguration. We're fighting on the inside to not the Republicans and the Trump administration to take away health care for 30 million people. So this resistance movement is part of a movement that we're working with Democrats on the inside and and people on the outside, not necessarily Democrats, but a people's movement that has developed, a democratic movement.
Representative, as you gather there, what are some of the ideas that you're coming up with your fellow Democrats that you think will work to take advantage of what we're seeing in the streets here across the country?
One of the strategies we've been talking about is the whole notion of intersectionality and how we come together. And I think the young women who organized the Women's March really got it right, because you saw all around the country people from all aspects of life, from all backgrounds, come together because there were common issues that we all care about. And so we have to continue to work to form these coalitions, people who can agree on several issues but may not agree on all issues, to come together. And then we've got to get organized and mobilized, registered to vote. And of course, for me and many of us, we have to take back the House and the Senate in 2 years.
As you know so well, being from California, this idea of intersectionality, you live it being from California. And when we look at those who've been disaffected, the gap in wealth that has been reported on, that is very well seen there in Baltimore where you're meeting. Many are saying the Democrats also didn't address that in recent years. How would you answer that criticism?
Well, Democrats in the last few years, of course, in the House of Representatives, we've had a very strong agenda addressing criminal justice reform, addressing health care, addressing affordable housing, addressing systemic racism. But what has happened is, unfortunately, our economic message, our message with regard to job creation and economic security didn't seem to break through, when in fact it's been Democrats and President Obama who fought like you would not believe after the almost depression that President Bush put us in, how we helped turn the economy around. But that message has not broken through yet, so we are working on a strong economic message so we can talk to the entire country with regard to why we must create good paying union jobs with benefits for all Americans.
Here's a $64 question. Who is that voice that will carry that message for the Democratic Party?
I think the voices of people who are protesting, who are organizing the voices of young people. I think it's the power of the people, as we say in Northern California, that will really resonate in this next election. And people have got to recognize that this is still a democracy, and we have to really use the mechanisms of our democratic processes to make sure that in 2 years we take back the House and the Senate, and 4 years we do not have a Trump administration to continue to take us backwards.
Well, more specifically and quickly here, Representative, who do you want to lead the DNC?
Well, let me just say, I have, of course, endorsed Keith Ellison. I'm a member of the DNC. There are many fine candidates running, and I think that next month we're going to see an election that's really going to be exciting, and it's going to be an election that's going to take the Democratic Party forward.
All right, fellow Californian Congresswoman Barbara Lee, thank you so much, Representative.